When working at high temperatures, the most common issue is the high temperatures on the battery positive and negative connector. Today, I'll show you how to completely solve the high temperature issue. You can see that the inside of the battery tail plug is dirty and blackened from burning, making it unusable. Let's compare it with a new one. Next, I'll make a very detailed video on how to replace the battery tail plug. These are the tools we'll need to replace the tail plug. The glue must be high temperature resistant. Because the working temperature of this tail plug is very high, regular glue won't hold it. First, take out a flat blade screwdriver. Pry up all the shock-absorbing glue on the four corners of the battery and remove the four screws that hold the head case in place. Open the battery head case and remove the negative screw, positive screw, and the screw above the fuse. Unplug all the connectors and remove the four screws securing the tail plug. Now the battery tail plug can be removed. There are four small screws that hold the plug in place. Remove them all. Remove the last two screws and the tail plug. Remove the screws for the positive and negative cables in turn. There are many wires here. If you're worried about making a mistake, you can record a video beforehand to ensure you can reassemble it correctly. When removing the positive electrode, there is a wire connected to it, so there's no need to remove it. These two on the positive and negative poles are temperature sensors. The two in the middle are communication lines. Use pliers to gently pry it off. After knocking it off, proceed to remove the temperature sensor. When pulling it out, it's best to use a razor blade to remove the glue first to avoid damaging the temperature sensor. When removing the temperature sensor, be sure to hold both wires at the same time. Do not pull by just one wire. Now that the plug has been removed, you can simply throw it away. Now take out the new tail plug and compare it with the old one before installing it. The semicircle on the far left is the positive pole, and the square on the right is the negative pole. When connecting the wires, be very careful not to reverse them. If the connections are reversed, it could easily cause a fire on the aircraft. Now screw on the positive terminal. The angle should be 90 degrees. Then install the positive screw. Make sure to tighten it securely. If it's loose, it will easily overheat. Insert the sensor into the gap of the positive terminal and later secure it with glue. After inserting it, adjust the position and connect the two signal wires. Typically, the wires won't be connected in the wrong order because they have already been shaped from being in place for a long time. Just insert it the same way as before. After plugging in the signal wires, if it doesn't feel tight, you can use pliers to secure it. Plug in the negative sensor, and now tighten the negative wire as well. Whether it's the negative or positive terminal, these screws must be tightened securely. Now the tail plug has been replaced. Next, we need to confirm whether the wires have been connected correctly. You can use tweezers to adjust the position of the temperature sensor. Then, later, secure it with glue. Take out the high temperature resistant glue, which is 700 for silicone. After applying the glue, set the plug aside and let it sit for 2 hours. Once the glue is dry, screw back all the screws in the correct order. This is the tail plug we replaced. Insert the tail plug into the back shell and tighten the 4 fixing screws. When putting the back cover back on, make sure that the tail plug aligns with the notch here. You can see that there are positive and negative terminals on it. Black is the negative terminal, and red is the positive terminal. If the positive and negative terminals are reversed, the head case will burn out immediately. The positive and negative screws are the same. They must be tightened securely. If they're loose, they'll easily overheat. Place the 4 cables into the slots, fasten the head case, and screw it in diagonally. We have now completed the replacement of the tail plug.